All right, guys, we're gonna start it now. Then, all right. Where is this button? Oh, here we go. All right. Welcome, everyone. We did it. We made it to the first real episode of this dumb podcast, I guess.
It's rude.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the second time we've done this, though. How is this the first?
Because the first one was 0. It was the pilot episode. You know, everyone needs a
okay.
pilot episode to make it real.
I don't think you know how numbers work, dude.
Dude, 0 comes before 1. Easy. Yeah, right. So I guess quick introductions, everyone. You want to go down the line? I guess, Carmen, you want to go first or whatever?
Yeah, sure. I'm Carmen, Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz. Yeah, I guess that's it, right?
Yeah.
I won Nats. That's my.
I hope you ride that like until the end of the year.
Oh yeah,
win nothing else and just be like, yeah, I'm the Nats champion. Oh. I guess Dean.
Hello. I mean,
yep.
do I need to introduce myself? I mean, I'm on like all of these videos.
Oh, that's true. That's true. This is just Dean's serotonin guy who doesn't read his Betelgeuse cards.
I don't read any of my cards.
Yeah. And then we have Nico.
So I made a start late. Sorry guys, but it's okay because I have Curry, so that's pretty good.
Yep. And then Kit, as always, run the Burn One channel stuff, and I guess team or whatever. If we're gonna turn this into an actual team, kinda. We'll see what happens. This week, though, for the Burn One podcast, let's see. So this week, since last time, our little pilot episode, we made a huge focus on English. What we're going to do this time is talk about all the stuff we missed in Japanese, Weiss Schwarz, and talk about a little bit of the news going on over there in Japan. So the first thing I have lined up here in the show notes is the Japanese ban list. So this came out while we were in Japan, and we just never talked about it, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, at all. So we'll just go ahead and touch on up a little bit on the ban list here. So by now, most of you should know what happened for the Jaypee Banlist. We have Fate got hit with the Omega Choice 1 of 5, which is like effectively more like a choose 3 list. What do I have here? Let me open this up again. So yeah, they got hit with the 3-3 Hill event, Clock Encore support, plus Ilya, Akatsuki, and then both 2-1 free freshes. They were basically the same card. This list, we're pretty much in agreement. Like the 3-3 is basically banned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're never playing it.
Unless you play some meme like 2-soul build with 3-3 events for something, or you're just not going to play the card.
Well, even then, the 2-soul build would honestly probably rely on the Clock Encore and the Ilya. So it's like...
Yeah,
I still don't think you can afford to
or
run
even
it.
The free freshes because they have triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is like, in a sense, basically neuters Fate completely. Its game plan before was literally just constantly refresh your deck with like Omega good deck states, so your opponent always has to deal with like worst case scenario. Well, I guess worst case scenario would technically be 2 climaxes in a deck, but usually they're gonna deal with 5 to 8 climaxes in a deck on the forced refresh. Yeah, so like what? Doesn't this like basically neuter the deck out of existence for the most part? I don't even think I've seen Japan post any results lately with this deck.
So I think if you want to play the old build, the compromises you make or you have to make just aren't worth it anymore to play it in a real tournament.
The bargaining lists are so funny. It's like they went through all 5 stages of grief on the deck. Like the initial list where they run the actual Avenger, right? Which doesn't give the Sakura power, but they still run the Sakura, so she swings at like 5 after climax. They make all these concessions just to like keep trying to run the deck. It was very funny to watch. But yeah, I don't think even those versions, the post-ban quote-unquote versions, have like made any impact at all.
Yeah, I saw like some cute ones that played the Green Akatsuki and like the Adventure Encore and stuff, but I think just you lose so so much consistency off of this ban list that it's like not even worth your time. What do you think, Dean? All right, Dean's silence says.
Well, I mean, like, I don't really play Fate, so like,
I know you
their
enjoyed playing
card
against
pool-
it.
I've tried playing against it, but like, its card pool is something I'm not super familiar with, right? So I refuse to believe that this set is unplayable because of the hits that it's been given.
Yeah,
I feel like no set is actually going to be crippled that hard. I think it just got rid of a lot of problematic things. I don't like this idea that if your deck isn't broken, it's not playable. I mean, we don't play a game that's that poorly designed.
as of
you
yet.
probably play the free fresh. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they're definitely trying to get to that point, but I think you just play the free fresh and maybe like a married life or something. I don't know, or maybe you play the top check for the minami. There's a
well,
minami.
I mean, the current deck, the deck that like basically won Japan. Did it win Worlds too in JP? I forget.
It won.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what won Worlds? It was just like that iteration of the deck is never going to exist again. It was just very degenerate. Like I thought that the only problem with the deck was literally the 3/3 event because it made it really hard to kill people. Like from 3-0, you had to kill them from 3-0. If you didn't, you were gonna have to kill them from 3-0 again next turn until you lost the game. That was the toughest part.
The fact that you had to kill them in one turn,
Yeah,
and they're also so compressed. I think like one of the only ways to like get them was either like very well timed stock swap earlier in the game that like put them far enough behind, or you had to like get really lucky with icy tail burns.
Well, I mean, they also just have like disgusting cards, like a 1/1 stock swap for some reason, right? I mean, like the set's just filled with absolutely disgusting cards due to
It being
literally
around
since
forever.
the game started getting support.
Yeah, the weirdest thing too is a lot of the cards that became like really powerful in the deck were old cards that literally like everyone at the time knew this was kind of like really really good, but the problem is all the cards around it sucked, so there was no way to like take advantage of it. And now that the Heaven's Fill came out, they were able to like literally abuse all the tools they've ever gotten, and it ended up with this ban list.
I mean, the ban list needed to happen. I still think
did.
we need some
It
more
did.
now.
Oh yeah, this deck deserved to be deleted from existence. I've played against this monstrosity so many times, overcoming it sometimes, not overcoming it other times. It's like the worst feeling thing to play against, except for maybe Psychona.
Psychona's up there for sure.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I think going back to like the 3/3 event is the most egregious part because you can't kill them. Like, you have to kill them in one turn. You can't 2-turn the deck because they're always going to go back to 3-0.
Yeah.
I think it's really unfortunate for the non-8-bar decks, though. Like, those decks that are, like, kind of there, but they can't function at all because of this 5-choose-1.
Yeah,
that kind of sucks for them.
There was like some meme list that got hit, but maybe this like opens up Fate a lot more because Fate literally has like a card pool that's like so massive that maybe people who like Fate and like to tinker with sets, kind of like the way Dean like literally plays a set into like oblivion until he finds like broken stuff. Like maybe it'll give someone a chance to show up with a rogue Fate list and like pronounce like destroy people with it.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting.
Because Fate's like one of the few sets that even has that like benefit, right? Like it's got how many sets does it have?
Dude, I don't know, like 5 or 6, something big.
It just has like way more than most sets, right? Like most sets, you only have a card pool of like 100, 120 cards. With Fate, you probably have like a 600 card pool.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you get rid of all the bad, and you're probably left with like 100 cards, but still 100 playable cards.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll move on to the next one. Unfortunately, our kimono brethren out there got hit with a choice 2 list, or choose one of 2.
Oh, Kimono Friends is pretty fucking busted.
It was funny to watch it because when it was like competing against Fate, it literally had like a 0 card hand and like had 1 memory and 0 stock, and then the guy just like canceled 15 times in a row to get his win. and they're like, something had to have caused that somehow. And it's like, well, okay, I think that guy's just sacking.
Was the conversion rate for Kimono pretty high overall? I think it's like one of those.
Like two people played the deck and they were good players, so they got tops.
I don't.
Is that
no, like I don't have the numbers in front of me. Maybe we should have looked this up beforehand. But I know the regionals for Japan. I think most of the times there'd be really low representation of Kimono, like literally 2 people at a regional, and then both of them would like make top 16. I think like the biggest thing about Kimono, like I don't really think it should have gotten hit, but it just did because of the way Japan like balances shit. But I think the game plan for Kimono was like really strong against like Fate at the time as well, because it's also technically a stall deck, but it tries to stall really hard at 2 and like prolong the game as long as possible. The same thing like Fate wants to do. So it became into this like really dumb like coin flippy war of who can prolong the game longer through heals, right? Because
the Weiss lottery,
yeah,
like, you're compressing, but like whatever player randomly eats 4 or whatever on their compressed deck is the one that loses. But I don't know. I feel like that's putting too much faith in them.
I tested Japanese Kimono a little bit, and it was not a good deck. Like it was definitely not like the best thing you could do with the deck. So like I don't know. I'm really confused by the like thankfully I don't think the hit even hurts Kimono Friends. I think it only hits that like one build of Kimono Friends.
It basically does. Yeah, basically Alpaca's banned because the 2-1 event is too good.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just play 1-2 pool every single time, right?
Yeah,
unless you play standby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because standby was always slotting into green, I think, to try to get.
Basically, yeah, it was like you play 4 of this and like 3 other green cards maybe, and then that was your entire green game plan for Kimono. Yeah, I don't think there's very much to talk about anymore with Kimono, right?
I think it's still like a functional deck. If people want to go out there and play it, they can. But I mean,
Yeah,
like it's never been a high tier deck, so
yeah,
it's the most undeserved one
on the list. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So next we got the spicy update to Sunshine. Choose 1 of 4, and then still Yo's limited to 1 per deck. So the choose 4 list is Ruby Akatsuki, the 1-0 Mari, 2-1 Rico support, level support from the second year package. And then the new card on the block is the Mari Drop Searcher. So when they revealed this Mari Drop Searcher, I was like, this card's pretty busted. Not like super busted, but it's like a card that you would gladly run like 3 in a deck and not even blink an eye. Right?
yeah.
It's on play. If you have 2 or more other music characters, draw 1, ditch 1, and it's a drop searcher.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was just really strong utility, and it would like, yeah, it would just like let you draw into climaxes and events more often. There's not really any events you're looking for, but it was mostly played in the 8 standby build, I believe. But this card also like is like functionally super powerful in every other build of Sunshine. It was just like your drop searcher of choice, basically. I think they even like basically was like used for blue fix when people picked like 1-0 Mari as like their choice card and stuff like that. What was really cool about it too was like you could confirm top checks with your 2-1 Rico, and then you're like, oh, that's a really cool standby on top
that's
of my.
The only thing I was thinking about with it was the fact that you can like scry with the 2-1.
You scry with the 1-0 as well, which is like really powerful.
Yeah, either one. They're both really good.
I mean, I guess. It seems to me like Bushiro doesn't want Love Life Sunshine to be a deck.
Sorta.
And that's why they released a new set for it.
Yeah, it's like they slap like restriction after restriction on this set, and it just rises to the challenge every single time. Like every single time, there's like some sort of build that's ridiculous. So I don't know. I'm confident that no matter what, people are gonna find a way to like break this set over and over and over again.
Well, actually, lately people have been basically playing Better Summer Pockets. It's been popping up everywhere. So I think like most people are slowly going back to that build, as well as people have still been playing 8 standby, but I don't see it as often anymore.
Oh, I don't know. The fact that like I think Dean said it's like you have the 2-1 Rico, you like reveal a standby on top and be like, oh, that'd be sick if that was in my hand. You revealed a level 0 card. You grab the drop searcher. You play the drop searcher. Now it's in your hand.
See, I am just like not well versed enough with Sunshine. I don't even know what their standby does other than standby. Like, so I don't understand drawing a standby over triggering it.
They have a like burnout combo at the top.
Oh, so okay. So it helps them find their top end.
Yeah, helps them find their top end. It just like confirms it. Like if that's a card you want to draw, you can just grab it.
Draw one seems pretty weak.
Well, you can always. The thing with Rico that makes her so dumb is that you can always exchange no matter what it is for a 0. It's like sort of the same thing as like even if you brick out on Warehouse, you can always grab anything, like any 0 from Grave. So and this drop searcher, this drop searcher is a 0, so you can always grab it and you can always move that card. So I don't know, and it's a drop searcher.
Yeah, it was just like really strong utility, but yeah, kind of like what touching on what Dean said earlier too, like or whoever, like they just they really hate Sunshine. They like want it to randomly die for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean they keep like shuffling up the ban list on it for no reason.
Yeah,
I mean like I know it did well, but like was it doing that well?
Yeah, like I played the deck for a little while. That deck was the like literally just built to high roll as hard as possible, which was really funny. And like you could run away with games for no reason just because like you hit 2 standbys at level 0 and now your opponent can't deal with your board. Which is just like
standby picks in general though.
Yeah, but this was like it would when they were building the list, they were like hardcore into the idea of like high rolling. They were like playing 6-1-1-7-5s with hand on core. They were playing like a lot of ditch outs and stuff like that. And yeah, it just had like some weird stuff going on with it that like made it very high rolly. And then like the second you got like the 2-1 Rico out at level 1, the deck was just like woo. Like
you're telling me it's like the 8 standby. Was there 8 standby? Was there 8 standby Steins Gate, or was that not a thing?
That's not a thing.
That was not a thing.
That's not a thing.
No.
Okay. It was just people were playing 8-1-1s in Steins Gate. Okay. I remember something absurd like that.
Look, Steins Gate is a sad boy, so they have to do what they have to do. All right. I think the final change here on the ban list is they upped Marika to 2 for Nisekoi. Does this actually do anything?
No.
No? All right. I think we're in agreement.
No.
Cool deck. Cool Nisekoi deck.
There were some like spicy lists I saw popping up on Twitter that ran like the Sweets engine to like be Baby Fate, where like you mill out and then refresh. It was literally just like trying to squeeze the Fate engine into the deck, and then you play America at the top.
Well, now it's better Fate.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. They looked really silly. I haven't had a chance to mess with it yet, but I don't know. It's America. Like, do we really have to talk about America? I feel like most people know that, you know, she is what she is. People do those build your own America decks all the time, and like even if they're even more efficient than she was, they never really go anywhere.
Are they usually more efficient? I always feel like they're like super bricky. Like they play a bunch of like weird cards to make it work.
The Pastel Palettes one, if you get off the full thing, is more efficient. But like obviously you need a bazillion pieces, and America's 1 card. So is what it is, I guess.
I don't even know if like they brought it to 4. If like this really does this really change anything?
No. Well, this one isn't on the list, Kit. Monogatari had stuff get removed from the ban list.
Did it? Oh, it did.
Yeah.
It had the drop
JC?
salvage.
No, not the drop salvage. The JC.
The drop
Oh
salvage.
no, the drop.
It was,
You're right.
Yeah, the drop salvage and drop search got
Yeah,
taken
the
off.
free one, right?
No,
it's
there's
a
just
drop.
one card that got
Yeah, it's a
taken
drop
off.
search.
It was a drop search. Yeah.
Drop search. The drop
Yeah.
search came off.
But
The
it's
one
free if you're level
five.
2. If you have like EXP 6 or something, right? Or 5.
Yeah.
Like, you literally can't use it if you don't have experience 5.
Yeah.
Unlike the fact that I don't think the Nisekoi one changes anything, I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased. I've been playing against a lot of Monogatari recently. That deck has legs now. Like, it's still kind of whatever because it's old as hell, but
I don't believe one card can make it that much better.
it brings the Hanakawa build back online, I think. That deck kind of crutched on those free search and salvage because it like elongates the game at 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still kind of a whatever deck. You just kind of like stock swap it and it loses. But it has legs again. If you're not playing a set with stock swap into it, it feels kind of bad sometimes. I've played against the new, what is it? It's like Bar Gate. Like, are the quote unquote newer builds coming back out? And,
Would it be better than just Afterglow Bangering with the Ron?
I mean, no, but
Okay, so see, then it sucks.
yeah, I guess
That deck sucks.
the free search and salvage with the experience is a lot better than you'd think. Like in practice, it seems to work very well. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there.
All right. Let's see here. We'll skip this for next week when we have our guest on. This one thing I just wanted to touch up on. I saw this in the community. I didn't really look into it more. I don't know if you guys did too. Like, people were complaining a lot because one of the next sets they announced has 12 double Rs, and a lot of sets lately have been getting 12 double Rs in JP.
Yeah.
Is this key?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Key
this
got
is
announced
key.
as 12 double Rs. I kind of feel like that was expected, but well, I mean, what do you guys feel like? Is this something like people should actually worry about?
We're spoiled.
I am not a fan of it because I like money.
Yeah.
That's true. Wishwood likes money too, dude. What
Yeah,
about Papa
I guess
Bushi?
so. Papa Bushi ain't done me no favors.
I mean, like think about this. Like every other card game, you have to buy like over a case of cards to get a play set, and like your play sets all like your cards in most games are shared between all sets.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you have to now buy like a case and a playset goes up from 350 to like 500 or like 550 on like the vendor side, this game is still cheaper than like another game.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it may be something they do, but like at the end of the day, this game is already like, compared to other card games, like it cannot be worse than other card games until they have like a 20 double R set with 4 double Rs per box, and you only get half a playset per case. Until then, I still say we're in the clear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we're
think this just
super
kind of
spoiled.
sucks for those like smaller vendors or whatever, especially
Yeah.
if they're trying to like sell Japanese product because they have to like if they want to like commit to like selling out playsets before the launch or whatever, they have to buy more product, which sucks. I don't know how to better phrase that.
I mean, I think most of the pain goes to the consumer, right? Because it's like the price of playsets goes up is like the only thing that actually happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it costs more for the consumer to buy it, but like, the distributor or whoever's distributing the play sets or building them out will have the same sort of break even. So it really just only hurts the person. But yeah, I mean, Dean's right. We are very spoiled.
Yeah, this is like
community.
one of the
I
only
like
few
that
games
call.
too that where like I literally can go like I buy a playset when a set releases. Like I don't think I've ever done that in any other card game.
Yeah, I mean, because I was looking at like Yu-Gi-Oh, just because I was tempted to get back into it a little bit, and it was like, oh, the core of this deck is $250. Now I need 3 of this $100 card and 3 of this other $100 card, and now I have 30 cards out of my 60.
Ooh, to be
and
fair,
I'm like $850 in.
to be
And
fair,
this
the
deck
English
is gonna be
market's
worthless,
not any better. Like, I didn't know Konosuba was like a $700 deck till someone like said it. I was just assume every deck in English is like $300 for the meta deck. Oh my god.
I guess it's pretty disgusting.
At least it was like what the 12RR deck is like the key anniversary set where people are gonna pick and choose the stuff they want anyway.
Yeah.
I've already.
Wait, hello? Oh no.
Charlotte cards or whatever. So like that stuff's all kind of split up, sandboxed, I guess, for people who are selling like it's the same thing as like banned play sets for Bang Dream because they have too many double rares or whatever.
I for one can't wait until Charlotte becomes the meta game.
Oh.
Oh, I'm so afraid of that stuff. Charlotte and Rewrite, like the scariest. Scariest sets on there. I guess Angel Beats too. That could be pretty spooky.
Oh yeah, Angel Beats. I forgot that was a thing.
I don't know. Apparently they've been getting like brainstorms and Musashi's as like PRs or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago.
One of the old promo packs had a pretty good brainstorm in a early play Musashi.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe people were like a little bit too panicky for whatever reason.
It's just different.
I don't think that so long as they don't do it with all sets, I think it's fine, right? Like I think the review one was probably a little overkill. There is no reason to do 12 double Rs for that, but like I think for the Bunko sets, like for the sets that encompass a whole lot of series and give additional support to multiple decks, it's probably to be expected and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. The fact that with this, it was like you can easily like sandbox it into like subsets of playsets. Sort of makes it easier, I guess, on the consumer. I guess they just grab what they want. But that's all predicated on the fact that you're gonna have people willing to bust enough sealed product to build out those like smaller directed playsets.
Well, I mean, there's always you almost always plus buying cases to sell. So
yeah, if you sell the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, as long as you work to sell like the foils and stuff, unless you keep the foils yourself, you usually can turn worst case scenario is like you break even, like literally. But yeah. Damn, this train, it's always here.
Train emotes.
Yeah. They need to enable like Pepega emotes on YouTube so I can have fun spamming that in chat.
But, wait, okay. I remember what I was gonna say about the RR thing. Similar to what Nico said, I think that, like you said, like Bunko sets or whatever, we should expect it. I think we should expect it for literally any set based on a mobile game. Literally any one. I think we can expect to have like 12 plus double rares in them. I think that's just going to be their normal thing. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, so I think we can expect it in the future.
Yeah, most likely. It's like any property that has just like a lot to draw from is like high chance of that happening, right? Let's see. Next thing here, I mean, this wasn't talked about much at all, so I just figured I'd bring it up. Because it's kind of interesting because we got Corona-chan going around scaring everyone to death. Scaring everyone to death so much that Bushiroad Japan literally canceled all Bushiroad events until April 1st.
I think that's fine. It's always better to be safe than sorry with that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
One of the big things though is like, will this actually happen to us on the English side though? Because
I honestly don't think we should talk about it here. But
I think our handling of this is going to be really incompetent.
Yeah.
All right. So see you guys at all regionals with Corona-chan.
Yeah,
I think the only NA ones that would even be in danger, quote unquote, of getting canceled would probably be the ones that happen in Canada because they're more on top of it than we are.
Oh yeah, I mean, because America will just be like, we're not testing people, so there's zero infections. I mean, they've already like been doing that. So
Well, I recently heard like a lot of the West Coast events have started to be canceled, and like the first regional coming up is Chicago, and I think there was one case in Chicago or something.
Yeah, I think it was fairly quarantined though. I haven't been reading up on it too much when it comes to the States, but I think the Chicago one was quarantined.
Yeah.
But there's random cases sprouting up kind of like left and right. Like I actually know in my local area, our local hospital had a coronavirus patient here admitted this past week. So we'll see how long that incubation period takes and if anybody else gets like infected in the area.
So they have like what 3 weeks to cancel Chicago if they do. And if not, we will be going and getting coronavirus because it's not like it's not going to be spread there. We're
all going to be there.
It's going to be there. It's just are they going to be willing to admit that it's there?
Yeah, I don't think we're in danger of getting anything canceled. Are we in danger of catching coronavirus? That's another conversation.
Oh man, card game players, man, they don't take showers, so. We're fucked.
Ooh, that might stop Corona. They might have more.
If everyone just drinks all the time and gets intoxicated the entire event, there's no way we get it, right?
I'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fine, dude. Alcohol cleanses the system. You can take it if you can believe me.
Oh man. Besides that. So this happened actually just like a day or two ago. I was actually a part of the server like on Monday or something. They first opened it up and posted it on Twitter. But Bushiroad actually opened up their own Discord for matchmaking, which is really crazy. Here, I'll just throw this up in chat for everyone that wants to join the server. But this is like an officially ran Bushiroad matchmaking server. It has a bot on it that like will match you against other people. There is a channel there's a small section, a very small section dedicated for English speakers or foreigners for the most part, but everything else is mostly in Japanese. I'm not sure. I don't know if they opened this server up because they canceled all those events or what, but it's kind of cool seeing that they took the time to do this and then like even create a bot that you tell the bot that you want to play, and then if there's someone else waiting to play, it'll match you against that person, and then it'll decide for you who goes first, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Did you see what's even better is they said they're going to have like judges there available if needed. I thought I saw something like that. That it's like
I saw something like that as well.
If you have like a ruling, like you can like get like a judge there, and like the judges will be in the Discord.
That's actually really hype. I didn't even see that wherever they posted that.
It's nice to see companies embracing technology, even if they're having to shortcut it a little bit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool because this is like the first bot I've ever seen of these card game Discords I've been in that has something like this, which is really cool, I think. Another thing on it too is like if you guys join, don't be an idiot and like go into the JP section and start spamming stuff in English.
Yeah,
I swear to God,
I was going to
be really upset.
Scroll down to the English speaking sections. They are very easy to find. It is the only stuff titled in English.
Yeah.
There's even an announcement server just for English speakers, or announcements channel rather.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if we can get like more of like the English speaking community on there and using it, because I think that bot is really cool, and like we have this trouble for the most part where like there's like 2 to 3 like really big card game servers, and so like finding matches is always weird. You have to like post to both and stuff like that. And then
take
now,
the first person.
Yeah, exactly. Now you can like actually queue into like a waiting pool and get matched against people, which is really cool. It's set up currently as just to be like fighting over webcams. I don't think they're going to enable for anything else special, but it'd be really cool if in the future like this develops into something like even bigger.
Yeah.
Like a Discord league, like the one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Discord league. Nothing I love more than playing Weiss Schwarz over webcam.
Oh, me too. I love it. I love asking my opponent what's in their waiting room and they don't tell me. No.
Yep, love it. But no, it is really cool to see, like, in general. I think like you touched on pretty much everything with the bot.
Yeah, that was my favorite part about the server, which has been really cool.
If you're someone who plays Weiss like over webcam in one of those discords, like just join and maybe play a couple games in there and show the fact that just to show Bushiroad that like there are people that do this. Like this is a subset of their community. So
yeah, especially if the English section gets really big, because it's really tiny on there. Like from whatever channels they gave us. But if they realize like, oh man, foreigners actually like this game and like support us or whatever, maybe they'll develop more into like, for the Western audience and the English speaking audience more stuff, or invest more translators into the English card game.
yeah.
One person in quality correction instead of the 0.
Yeah. They'll get a guy off of Fiverr to do translation checks.
Oh hell yeah!
Come on, don't put that. That's disrespectful to the people on Fiverr, man.
You're right. Oh,
Damn,
man.
I wanted my boy Jesus to work in QA.
All right, so this next subject we have here is going to be kind of a fun one. I don't know how long we're going to spend on it. Wait, let me save this really quick. We added this a little bit last second. I'll put the image up for you guys on the stream, but these new spoilers here for
Cool cards.
Konosuba.
Oh, cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Cool cards, guys. Thanks, Bushi.
Like,
It's okay. I can spin this in a different light than you think I would.
So I'll do the quick translations really quick. So the 3-2 Yun is adventure magic trade. If you have 2 or less climaxes in waiting room, it gets -1 level in hand. If you have 2 or more other adventure or magic trait characters, this gains 15 of power and hand encore. Specifically discarding adventure magic trait characters, obviously. And then it's a heal 1 on stage. And then the 3-2 Mega Man, which climax combos with the gate shown there. It is on play, discard 1. If you do, then you can heal the top card of your clock to stock. And then climax combo with gate, you pay 3, send the gate climax to the waiting room, then rest this Mega Man plus one of your other 3-2 Yun. And they both have to be in the front row to rest them. And then at the start of attack phases, when you be able to pay this, and if you do that, your opponent chooses 1 climax from their waiting room, shuffle everything back into their deck besides that 1 climax, and then send the characters across from these cards, the 2 you rested, directly to clock. And then your opponent burns 3 twice. So yesterday we had Carmen in our little chat going like, "What the hell?" Because he loved playing against Konosuba.
I fucking hate Konosuba. I'm so sick of this set. Like, when this set got announced, this movie set, I was like, please, dear God, trait lock this set. I've seen so many sets get trait locked that don't deserve it, yet this thing just gets to run free. Because no one in Japan will play this set enough for it to get on the ban list. Like, because they just ban things based on representation in this. So, because Konosuba has such a low representation in Japan, it doesn't matter how good the deck is. The upcoming sets aren't going to get trait locked. There isn't going to be a ban list.
Well, to touch on that,
to
touch on that really quick though, it's not based only on representation. They also look at conversion rate, but yeah, not a lot of people
look at
are like, really doing well with this. Yeah, also canceling with Kimono, yeah, but
yeah, it didn't matter how good the set is because it doesn't have representation and doesn't have a high conversion rate. You know, it's not going to see any of that stuff, and there's going to be no precedent for there to be a like weaker new set or, you know, a trait lock in place. So we get stuff like this. I don't know. I think the most egregious thing on this entire list. Well, I guess right now we're talking about exactly the combo, right?
Yeah.
I'll hold off then for now, but the Union's the crazier part of this. For sure.
I think the Union's the really strong part about this. What about you guys before I go in on my little spiel?
Which Union?
The early play.
The early play. The
The early play is kind of absurd.
It like slots right over whichever early play you don't like as much, which I guess for most people is probably the.
Well, you drop blue, right?
Yeah.
Well, you probably keep blue because
You
You
probably
have to run
I'll
blue
tell
for
you why.
foreclosure. Yeah.
for foreclosure,
Yeah.
and the early play aqua is really good. So you probably drop
When we
the.
talk, I'll talk more when we get like all of this stuff because I think that people are overlooking some things about this.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that camp too. What about you, Nico?
I initially was more of like the Karn camp when this dropped. I was like, what in the seven hells did Bushiro just print? Like, what am I actually reading here? But after thinking about it for a little bit, I don't think it's going to be pretty strong, but it's not going to be as strong as everybody thinks. And I think a lot of the other kind of like, I guess problematic would be the word for it, cards are like the cards you haven't shown yet. If we're
Yeah.
even talking about those.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like the
we could talk
package.
about those. I don't think I have it saved right now, but I mean, we'll talk about that in a bit. As far as this combo goes for me, like the biggest takeaway for me from this combo, like I told you guys the other day, is like I think this is super comparable to what we already have. If you're looking to,
Oh, it's
like,
better.
Do you think it's better?
100%.
Yeah, it's
It
100%
doesn't
better.
target, and
Mhm.
burn 3 is better than burn 4,
Mhm.
especially for closing games. So like
Yeah.
you get double
Yeah.
clock kick, and then you
Mhm.
get nice numbers.
I
So
think it's that simple, right? It's literally. I think a lot of people are like, they're kind of in a bargaining phase with it, where they're trying to say, oh, it might not be as good as what we have in these certain situations, but I think you gotta like Occam's razor it at a certain point. You look at it, you look at this package, it's definitely better
Oh
than
yeah.
what we have, like just far and away better. I think the biggest part is people are saying it's just like, because we got into it the other night in the one Discord, and we're like, oh well, like there's the stock overhead stuff like that. The biggest thing, you play this union down right on the previous turn, even if you only get one turn, and then it lives because you hand encore it.
Mhm.
That's 2 of the cost of the overall package. I think people are ignoring that part. I think that's the part that throws it over the edge, at least for me.
yeah, so
But it's this,
the
The fact that the union has hand encore is
yeah,
actually
the hand on core
Yeah.
part is
Oh, lose that
absurd.
stock.
Literally, we came to the same conclusion, Nico and I, when we were testing a crap ton of Review Starlight before Nats, and the reason we played Standby was because how stupidly busted having this early play that's good have hand encore, and then now
Yeah,
we're doing the
yeah.
same thing with Konosuba. That's like the biggest part of this combo that's like absurd to me. I think like overall. Comparing this to the old like combo package, it's almost the same to me because if you play around the clock kick, you crash your board anyway, right? And then
Yeah.
if you're playing this early play, they're gonna have something to like. They'll be able to crash now for sure. Because sometimes you could play around that before by like just playing shitters and then crashing them against their shitters. But now that if you're playing this early play, which is really powerful, and I feel like there's no reason not to be playing this early play, even like early playing it out. They're going to be able to like play a little bit more around the clock kick portion. And then when you look at the numbers overall, like it's not like you're getting extra attacks or anything here because you basically pay 3 to get the same numbers, except you're getting 2 clock kicks that don't target. And I think targeting and not targeting in JP isn't as big of a significant. Like it doesn't matter as much compared to English currently because of Attack on
English.
Titan. Like if looking
No,
at
I
this.
thought.
Mhm.
Isn't the Psychono have the hexproof card?
Oh shit, you're right.
Psychono does have
Look,
it.
just tell them don't. But anyway, this against Psychono, I don't know if it would be as good anyway because their compression is all in memory, right? So like instead of
Yeah.
having 8 climaxes in their deck, now they have 7. I don't know if that actually matters. They'll be like 7 and 21 instead of 8 and 22. Like
Yeah.
so in that case, I'm not sure if it matters. I think Icy Tail's actually really strong against Psychono, but that's like a different discussion.
Yeah.
I think the biggest advantages is you get this early play, you get to play Gate, which is a stronger trigger than like double soul trigger, and I think you save a slot or two. You save like 2 slots on the fact that you don't have to play Aqua Fumio anymore. You can play like more burn 5 Megamins to set up like really silly scenarios of like if they take the double clock kick and they don't take either of the 3s, then you can burn for 5 for game and then swing in for 2 like still. And if they took a 3 in, they still have to they'll be at 3-5 from 3-0 and they still take 2 from the burn 5 Megaman anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I don't actually play Konosuba, right? I mean, I only play against it, but I like these scenarios where you're like, so you're hitting level 3, you've got like 15 stock, infinite hand, and exactly the cards you need with no cantrips. That's like my problem with like this, because like the old Megamine dug for its climax, which is actually relevant. The stock soul gave you more stock throughout the duration of the game while playing it, which helped fuel you. The gate's cool. It gives you hand, which I mean, I guess you could say is one less resonate, but you have to pay the gate out, so it's actually not one less resonate. You actually still have to resonate. And then you don't like you have no cantrips, right? Like you're either wasting stock finding the climax, or you're holding it so you're getting bad refreshes.
Yeah, so I think this is what I think is going to happen. There's a top check 5 Aqua from Sneaker Bunko.
Yeah.
I think that card is going to be really heavily a part of this
X,
package.
sir?
Yeah. Top check X.
Yeah.
You tell me you're not going to have 5 characters on the board.
Especially with this hand on core union. Come on now.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
So the biggest thing about this combo too, I think it might be a trap too, to like trick yourself into thinking you need to play the Resonate Union for this combo, because you're playing 8 gate basically. You're most likely playing the level 1 Union unless they print a better level 1 combo in this set, because the level 1 Union builds you stock for the in game and like random pluses. Plus on top of it can randomly give you really good compression for your second deck, and you're going to trigger gate more often. So now you don't have to worry about hitting the double trigger and getting nothing off of Union.
Well, I mean, they already revealed the self-tap salvage brainstorm to go with it. So obviously you don't have to run, like, you're not mandated to run the package anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying I think people are going to be trapped or tricked into thinking that's the package you need to be running, because you're just playing dead cards now.
Springboarding off that, I would like to present this nightmare scenario with some of these new cards that we've seen revealed, where Konosuba Magic on its own, not even considering the rest of Konosuba the set, has enough cards to be as toolboxy as something like Garasao, where you can play these wacky climax splits. Like, you could run like 3-3-2 or like 4-2-2 and like 6 gates and 2 stock souls, and you could just run everything. I think that's like a more likely scenario than people think. Like, some of this stuff is like crazy. The toolboxing potential of your top end was already nuts, and you're just adding even more options. You have stuff like, we haven't talked about this Union yet, the one where you ditch one of the Megamines and you just free fresh. That's it. You have a bond to the gate for this combo. Like, you have a Akatsuki.
Okay, I don't think the
like,
bond is like whatever, dude. Like, sure, if you want, you can pay. What is it? It's on a 2-1, and then you pay ditch one.
Yeah, it's pay 3, ditch 1, basically, right?
Yeah,
I don't think that's really good. Like,
no, it's not. That's why I was bringing it up. The option is there, but it's not very good.
Yeah, I more so just want to highlight the fact that they have so many options at the top. Like, I think a build like that is kind of inevitable.
I think it's going to happen. Something like that will be, which I will enjoy that a lot, because I'm dumb and invested.
Oh yeah, it'll be hell to play against, because you know how I always talk about you can't check all the boxes. Well, you know, it just becomes even more impossible. Like,
if Konosuba gets like an Alpaca top check 4, add a card to hand, plus like standby, maybe I'll consider these cards and like this combo like something you can pull off.
So
or maybe just play 4 Snot Aqua. Like, maybe.
Well,
just,
that's probably what you do. You probably play like 3 Snot Aqua or something to make up
4.
for.
Yeah,
I don't know if you play 4.
You need
I don't
all
know. I guess maybe, but either way, like these 2 other cards I'm showing on the screen now for you guys, they just revealed today as well. So like, this is like the type of stuff that will make it so you don't have to play the package, the Union package we currently play. So we have this. It's a double R level 0 Megaman and Union. It's a Brainstormer, self-tap Brainstorm salvage. And then its first effect is whenever a character triggers a gate trigger or a comeback trigger, or whatever you want to call it, you can assign a soul somewhere. So now all your gate triggers have an extra soul if you want it. That's like really, really absurd. And then
even if you do it on last attack, you can assign it to the character attacking.
Yeah, you can.
So you'll never whiff it.
And then the secondary card, which is, if you're playing this combo, you're probably playing this card. Let's be honest. This level 0 Megaman, which is you discard either the. Let me double check to make sure it's correct.
Either the
Yep, you discard either of the level 3s, and it's a 5-card check Akatsuki, but then it gains 1k as well. So it's a 3k beater at 0 as well. So like you get so much like consistency built off of these cards. Like, yeah, of course you're forced into playing this like top end package, but if you're playing that anyway, of course you're going to be playing like, you're going to be playing those cards anyway if you're going to, pick that as your top end, right? Like,
You also forgot to mention that they have this Nito free fresh. That's also
yeah,
pretty
that's free fresh. You discard. Was it the Megaman only, right?
I think it's
Megaman only. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Megaman only. Okay.
Yeah, only the level 3
on
Megaman.
0.
Yeah, on a level 0. Like, I think that card's pretty whatever because it's kind of restrictive on what card you can discard. I kind of like the Aqua Free Fresher more a little bit if stock isn't really a big issue. But the top end for this too is not even that much stock because you got to remember the Megaman level 3 heals the stock as well. And even though it's a pay 3, so it's more like was it 2, 4, 6? Like you need like eight stock to go off with like 3 level 3s and to pay for the combo, right?
Yeah.
And like two of that stock you like pay for earlier in the game. So
It's still stock you use.
yeah.
I mean, like the older decks, like played a 3-1 early play, right? So,
but also like in the JP list, at least like from my experience of playing it, getting like 15 stock before the end of the game usually isn't a problem. At least in the JP list. In English, I think it's a different story.
isn't that because of the stock souls?
It's stock souls in the secondary combo though also helps a
you
lot.
lose those.
Yeah, you get the
Yeah,
double.
you lose out on those, yeah, but you kind of make it up in like other utilities it's starting to look like. So I'm wondering how the movie set's gonna like pan out completely. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like, I won't deny it. I'm like unbelievably biased against this set. Like, I play this set, and like, I hate it. So like, when I saw this stuff come out, I'm just like, God damn it! Like, not again. What? Why do you have to do this to me? But I'm sure that we'll find a way. There's always an answer. It's Weiss.
Oh, my
But-
bad. The guy in chat is correct actually. It's on climax placement, so you get extra soul off of playing the gate climax, not off of trigger. Yeah, not no climax. Okay.
Wait, what's going on?
Yeah, so sorry, the brainstormer was mistranslated. It's on climax placement. If it has the comeback icon. Sorry. Oh, that's a lot.
Okay,
That's
that's
less.
not as dumb.
That's less stupid. So
Damn.
Damage wins
damage
games.
you win. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that means you can make your last lane because you had to sack the gate to do the combo, which means your level 3 at the end there could have 3 soul if you wanted it to.
Because you get to choose all the orders because this game's really cool.
Oh my god. Well, you have to sign it before attack phase. So
Yeah.
yeah, because it's on placement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's pretty funny, actually. Oh my god, I hate Weiss. All right.
But yeah, I think it'll be fine. Like, it is crazy, right? And we're talking about our finishers getting too nuts. Even this, I don't think is that crazy. This is a lot dumber if it comes to English. I think you touched on it, right? Because of the factor of AOT and that this doesn't target.
Yeah.
But, it's always up in the air what comes to English or what doesn't. I'm done ever trying to predict what happens in terms of what comes to English or not. Because it doesn't matter what makes sense or what doesn't.
Don't
The
worry,
most
we're getting New
random
Japan,
shit comes
man.
over here. Yeah, New Japan, just like we got Fujimi.
These sets I assume would never come out in English, just get it come and released. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. It's like I'm completely done trying to predict anything that Bushi C does.
Mm-hmm.
So,
They're just doing their thing.
yep.
All right, I think we're done with the wildness of Konosuba spoilers. Let's get on to like the really good spoilers now. So, what is this? Noble Knights is coming to Weiss Schwarz. Is that right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on,
Um,
I'll bring this up for you guys. You want to talk about it, or Dean?
Yeah, I am the Noble Knights player. I mean, I think it's like cool because it is like a design space, right? It's like that they haven't really used. I think they're extremely broken. if only for the fact that like being able to go over hand size in this game is like as broken as memory, and this does actually both. It's whichever one, whichever phase it needs to be is where it is. It's a 3/2 that gets power if it has a marker, but the actual card that's actually interesting in this TD is a 1/0 card that you just like slot it under a card and give it 1,000 power for the turn. I think it's really dumb that it's not like 1,000 power permanently or some permanent effect. Because like I don't know if that's like the way that markers work in this game, but like cards can't just give effects while under another card, or something. I don't know. But then when that card dies, or like when the card is sent to the grave from like when it was a marker, which means like if the card's bounced, sent to memory, like anything that happens to the card to move it off the board, and you have 2 other characters, the event goes to memory and then comes back during your draw step. So you can just like permanently play with an 11 card hand. So if this set has like an 8-gate build, or like like some build that's going to keep like just copious amounts of hand, this like equip mechanic can quickly get out of hand, especially if you have like multiple equips. Like if you have like 2 equips that do this, you can have like 8 memory every turn, start turn with like 13 card hands.
Yeah, like,
and like there's no downside. You just shove all the cards under a card, and it's like if they get rid of the card, you just get the hand back anyway. I mean,
yeah,
it's spooky.
There's
it's
like
a pretty spooky design space the way they're doing this.
There's no downside. I mentioned this before we went live. It's like it's very interesting that they're like abusing their own zones they have, instead of like creating some sort of equipment, like a new type of card. They are trying to squeeze it into zones that they have, and there's going to be repercussions for doing so.
I don't think there'd be a problem with squeezing it in. Like, all you'd have to do is be like, this card gains 1,000 power. You neg 1 hand to make your card 1k bigger. It's the same thing as having like pseudo 1/1s, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess 1,500 power. I don't know. Find some balance between how much hand you're sacrificing for how much power you're gaining and like other effects. That's how every other game does equips. Why is it only give power for a turn but then blink back to hand? That's a pretty good equip. So
yeah, the fact that it blinks back, that's the craziest part. Like, it'll always come back to your hand at the beginning of main, no matter
like you
what.
You never actually neg hand, right? If anything, you can only plus hand by being under hand size.
Yeah. Well, one thing to note, to be fair, is this is the only card they've revealed so far. It's a trial deck card, and we're not sure if all the effects are going to be like this. Are all these cards going to come from back from memory or whatever? Because I haven't played. This is from a mobile game, right? So this might be some flavor shit they added, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, look at the like. I think if they were doing that, they would be a little bit. I feel like they
wouldn't show this type of effect. They would just show like the normal effect.
Like they would show like a normal equip that gives like a 500 power and like encore or something. Mm-hmm. Like you do something less. Like the way this is structured, it worries me, right? Like the way this card is designed worries me. Mm-hmm. Because it looks like they're not going to do actual equips. They're just going to have these really broken events that you shove under cards.
Yeah. You know, it'd be really sick if they have counter events that are equipments.
You mean early plays that get markers on reverse like a rem? So it's going to have like a rem?
Oh, no.
Oh, boy, here's my rem. It starts off at...
Oh, my God, come
on, man. Oh, no, but I mean, like, the idea of this whole thing's, like, really cool, but I guess it is kind of spooky of, like, how they end up designing the rest of them. I just think it's pretty neat. You know, that they're finally doing some other stuff. They're trying to experiment more with cool effects.
So, I mean, yeah, it's cool that they're experimenting, but I don't know.
At what cost?
Yeah, this is, like, unbelievably scary. Can you imagine? It's like 4 of these just pop back to your opponent's hand every turn. Like, and then they just have all this gas no matter what. They can just like.
I'm ready for some heinous.
All game.
I'm ready for some like heinous top end from this. That's like ditch 6 on attack, burn 2 8 times or something, and you're gonna be like, but they have 8 cards in memory every turn that keep popping back.
Oh my god. I can't wait for.
It's gonna be
bullshit
actual
like that.
unlimited blade works. It's gonna be like actual Fate.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
ready
like
for it.
all this needed to not be as this scary was that there can only be one of these as a marker under a card at a time.
Well, the card specifically states that you can only choose a card that doesn't have a marker to give it to.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
You read the card.
Reading's hard, I know.
If this card does not have a marker underneath it, okay.
Yeah.
So you'd need to play at least 4 characters every turn to continue. 3? Well, no, if you wanted to have 4 to recur, right?
Well, I mean, you only do it on your. So okay, so now you're only playing with a 10-card hand. It's that.
It's okay, guys. It's Bushiro we're talking about here. I'm sure it'll be nice and balanced with no issues whatsoever.
Yeah. When's the last time
they're
Bushiro
never
ever screwed
incompetent.
up? Oh man. I guess before we get to like the questions from chat and stuff, do you guys have anything else you want to add to any of the discussion? We basically hit everything that's worth talking about this week.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right. So next here, guys, we're gonna take questions from chat, but before chat questions, we're gonna do priority to any of the Patreon supporters, I guess. So if you're on Discord and you're actually a Patreon supporter, we have a secret channel where you can post whatever questions you want that week answered, and you guys get priority. So if you're not here live to hear the discussion, you can ask for your question to be answered, I guess. So I'll pull from here, and anyone else that wants to ask questions in chat, just go ahead and post up the questions. We'll kind of go through it. Let's see. So the first question I have here is, what are some good exercises you can run through as a player, new or old, that you can perform by yourself to help build better fundamentals as a player for the game?
Sequence. I don't know if it's like an exercise, but you can kind of play ghost games against yourself. It can still teach you stuff like sequencing and all that, but like not all of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but I think the big thing you have to learn in this game is sequencing. That's very important.
Fish bowling can help with that. I mean, I call it fish bowling. I don't know if that's common. It's just like playing against yourself, simulating damage. Like, if you want to get crazy with it, where I always simulate like worst case scenarios because I'm a bad player, I guess. But like you can like roll a die for damage and stuff if you want. But it does help you like get your sequencing down. You just like remembering everything that like you should know basically everything in every card in your deck, what it does without reading anything. Like that's a big thing for new players, right? Like
you should know why cards are in your deck. Like even if you're net decking, you should soon figure out why certain cards are in your deck and at what point you need to kind of like get them, if that makes sense.
And fish bowling can help with that because you're playing against nothing, so you'll be able to realize why you need to get things into your hand at certain times and why they're good. So
I mean, doesn't it just kind of come back to like understanding what your deck's main game plan is and then being able to operate that in specific orders? I mean, there's always like weird scenarios. Like sometimes you hit them, you've never seen it before, and you play things in the wrong order. But it's just something you have to like get over through more experience in those scenarios. And then, like you said, fish bowling is when you fight your shadow self, man, you're like you always lose. It's the worst.
Dude, Shadow Nico is actually the strongest fucking player I've ever played in this game. He's actually undefeatable.
Fish bowling is a good way to simulate those sort of more crazy situations, though, that you won't see as often. Like you can set those sort of things up and then figure out the best way to react. So you have more of an idea when it actually happens, because it will happen. It's Weiss.
Okay. Wait, did Dean answer? Didn't you have anything?
Oh well,
that?
I mean, like I think that most card games are just grinding games and like self-reflection, right? So it's like It's been so long since I've been like a truly new player that like because I'm assuming this is coming from somebody who doesn't play cards, right?
A lot
Like
of fundamentals can carry over.
yeah, like fundamentals from
Yeah.
card games carry over, and like you learn to adapt those things. But like when you're just getting your base for a card game, I think there's like some articles that it takes like 2 years of playing, and you just have to play and learn, reflect. I mean, I don't know.
Like your first card game ever, you mean?
Yeah, like I don't
Yeah.
know, well, like other than like because like what I did is I just like went straight to I just played Yu-Gi-Oh like 35 hours a week. Like I was crazy to grind. I would almost say because of the Vice community being so small, if you want to get better at Vice, pick up a card game that people play as like a side hobby because you can't play Vice enough. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh,
biggest problem.
you have to be in a real Goldilocks zone of a community. Shout outs to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean
That's different for everyone now, though. We have a Discord server by Bushido.
Yeah, that's true.
like pick up like Shadowverse, Magic the Gathering Arena, something
Hearthstone.
something like something to get fundamentals for card because card game fundamentals are like hard to get. And Vice especially. Vice is like the most like the weirdest game where I think like you could be a good player and not have like any solid fundamentals for like actual card games almost.
Yeah, it is very different.
Oh man, I can actually recommend you can even just go play poker if you have the extra disposable income, and you'll still learn the fundamentals for this game.
Like yeah, like it's but like learning by yourself is not going to happen. Like consume content, play, like I said, probably just pick up another card game. Like to begin with.
So, like,
it's
people dump on Hearthstone a lot, right? But I've never had more things transfer than my time in Hearthstone to my time in Weiss. That was like really big for me.
what?
Like,
No, Shadowverse is a better one right now because it's like
Yeah.
it's like you're playing against Konosuba every round.
Yeah,
like, I made all the right plays. They got to do their combo first.
You'll train yourself for when the new cards come out. But like, Hearthstone did teach me a lot. Like mitigating RNG is a big one. I guess it might be different now. The time at which I played Hearthstone really prepared me for sort of the environment that Weiss was like around when I started.
From just kind of like watching some of the streams of like Crip and stuff, sequencing is still a big thing that you'll learn from Hearthstone. And yeah, it's mitigating RNG is the other big one.
Well,
like those are still very important
mitigating
fundamentals
RNG.
in the game.
The one thing that's like unique about Shadowverse is even though it is like disgusting and you lose on turn 6, at least a lot of like playing Shadowverse is like not even about like because your only goal is to get to your combo turn. Your turns are never about like killing your opponent, but just making them like really uncomfortable next turn, which is like something that's also kind of unique advice that like a lot of people don't appreciate. Like a deck like P5 or like like any solid wall deck, right? Like a lot of people are like, but like what happens? Like how is this good? You're just walling, right? It's like, well, it's not the fact that I'm killing my opponent. It's like I'm just making it really uncomfortable for them to get to their turns through their turns. So, like I said, I think you can just take away. Like, you can take something away from any card game.
Yeah.
But like every other card game, you're going to be able to play more than Vice. So, even if you really like Vice, if you want to get better, maybe just pick up something else.
All right. This next question's kind of long. Let me see here. I can kind of condense it actually. So, the first thing is like, is there anything you like keep in mind or remind yourself during a game to like constantly have like basically like gets you through the match to remind yourself of certain things and stuff like that. And then following up that question is they want to know if there's any like sort of numbers or things that they should be keeping track of ratios in their head or anything like that to like optimize their deck state, or like I guess in this case I'm just going to say optimize anything.
So this is definitely a me thing.
Yeah, I'll be right back really quick.
Talking to a lot of different players, I don't think a lot of people, like maybe more people than I think, play Weiss like this. I like obsessively track every single zone. Like I think that like one of the base requirements for like getting good at Weiss is having the like mental capacity to track literally every single closed zone, where you know every count, you know where every single card is, you know where every single exact card in your stock, because you're not allowed to take notes in this game. You are explicitly disallowed from taking notes. So, and you have to remember a bunch of things on the fly all the time. You have to like memorize literally every single zone all the time. I think that's like sort of a base requirement for like reaching the quote unquote next level of the game. At least for me. I don't know if everybody else plays Weiss like that.
I don't think you need it to that extent, if that makes sense. So, like, I think for me, like, because not everybody's going to have, like, a photo memory and stuff, right? So I think being able to track the important cards, so I would say the big thing, always know where your climaxes are. That is, like, a huge thing. If you triggered a climax, you should know exactly where it is at all times. The other big thing you should track is, I would say, probably, like, the one-ofs in your deck, because those can be very important based on whatever match you're playing. And then after that, you can just kind of take it from there. I think the other thing you should track after that is probably soul triggers, because that can actually come up in some weird situations later.
Yeah, that shit's so important.
You should know how many soul triggers you're running in your deck.
I distinctly remember the point in like sort of the year where I was grinding the game, where it's just like remembering the number of soul triggers that I had, and like tracking that ratio became really important. And I was like, damn, this has like won me so many games, remembering how many soul triggers I have, making plays based on the number of soul triggers I have. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm really obsessive about my like zone tracking until I start drinking, obviously. But yeah, it's just like zone tracking is like really, really, really important. And I don't see enough people talk about it. I feel like it's like people at the higher levels of the game sort of take it as a given, and that's not information that's really passed down how important that tracking is.
I mean, like, to like do well at all, you have to at least be able to track climaxes. After that, it's like, like keeping track. Oh, okay. So a lot of people play decks with really boring spreads of like actual cards, like 4-4-4-4-2. So like usually it's like a card goes to stock and it's not even crippling.
Yeah.
And most of the time with 4-ofs, the only time this is my failing as a player. Like the only time I'll pay attention to a 4-of is like when I refresh, like I'll see like how many are going back in. And then for a second, sometimes I'll just be like, holy God, I just triggered 3 of my 4-of. Getting it back. But usually it's like, you know, just checking the waiting room is enough. I mean, like, I guess maybe like take enough conscious thought into what you trigger to like notice when you trigger 3 of your 4-of. But I think those are like more of like outliers that like you really can't do anything too much about, right?
Yeah, well, like to kind of touch up on that too is like even if you forget or don't track something, whenever you refresh, look through your entire waiting room to see what's going back in your deck. Like sometimes if I zone out and actually forget like where certain things are, I will like literally pick up my waiting room and go through my entire waiting room before I start shuffling, just to confirm what is in there, where are my outs, and like can I draw into this? Because you don't want to ever overextend thinking you have something in your deck that's not there.
Oh, I've lost to that before.
Yeah, I've lost to that a lot too. I'm like, this guy's dead if I draw this 1-of, and then I'm like, oh shoot, it wasn't in the deck.
Yeah, it's not in the deck. But like, I don't know. I mean, people love to say like AOT. It's just like, oh, this is a helmet deck. You just like don't have to think or stuff like that. I think one of the like most underappreciated parts of playing that deck is like running analysis based on like, am I gonna take cards as damage? Do I gear now? Do I gear then? Do I gear on second attack? Like, what are my probabilities based on the cards that are in my like track zones? I probably really overthink playing that deck, and it probably is more helmet than I think. But like that's something I think about when I'm playing that list, and similar lists, stuff like that. Things where you're doing that before you take damage, things that enter unaccessible zones, such as your clock, like your probabilities versus to take damage and stuff. But I guess I'm more neurotic about that kind of stuff than other players.
Mm-hmm. I guess the one thing I can add to like always think about is like I've said this before in another video. It's like a famous chess quote by a grandmaster. He said like the quote is, "When you see a good move, look for a better one." Like remember, like you can play. Well, not really. You can't take forever on your turns, but like you don't have to rush through your turns. This is something like in every card game. Like people have this problem where like they see a play, they assume it's the best play, and they make that play. Whereas like if they took like the extra 10 seconds to confirm like, oh, if I played in this order, I actually get a slight edge of like 1% or whatever. Like those slight edge cases like that, where you're always fighting for the better odds by whatever percentile or percentage or whatever that you get, no matter how small it is, will like make you a better player in the long run, right?
Dude, those weird edge cases win games of. I'm convinced. Like those are the deciding factors.
Yeah, but Kit's saying that, but I think I guess if you're learning, if you're like new to the game, definitely.
Well, if you're new to the game, you should be thinking about your turns anyway, and it's not like going into autopilot.
I feel like most people, like after they've played a while, it's like know that you can take more time, because like don't sit and think through like every turn like super like hardcore, because this game there are some turns that you just know what you got to do, dude. Like like there are turns
you shouldn't be taking 5 minutes on turn 1.
Yeah, like well, they're like especially like level 1 combo turn stuff. Like it takes like no time at all to like assess the board. But then there's like turns where randomly you're like, okay, for some reason I've got 5 climax at the bottom, like 10 cards in my deck, and I have to attack now. What do I do before? Like right, there's like situations that are bad or like weird and awkward. Take more time on those. 30 minutes is a long time for a game. Usually there's time extensions, other than in Worlds.
Other
than in Worlds. Like, well, I guess it's like you're assumed to be able to play faster, right? Regionals probably had more time for newer players. Yeah, like, and always, like, especially on, like, if you're doing, like, finishing turns and you have, like, multiple top ends working, just, like, don't be afraid to tell your opponent, like, okay, this might take a minute, because, like, if you've been playing fast the entire time, most people let you. I know when I was in Japan, when I play my Million Life list that has, like, 3 different top ends, sometimes I just have to be like, okay, give me, like, 2 minutes to count things. Like, and they're usually fine with that, because you play fast the entire game, need some couple minutes on the last turn. That's usually fine.
Yeah, I think like one thing to add on here too, which is like another good quote. This is like involves like anyone that has issues with tilting and stuff like that, or just having like bad games.
Just don't.
Yeah, just don't, dude. Just don't, forehead.
Don't.
Just win, forehead. It's not that hard.
Block.
So
block the damage, dude. What's the problem?
So this is like another chess quote, which is like really good, which is, after a bad opening, there is hope for the middle game. After a bad middle game, there is hope for the end game. But once you're in the end game, the moment of truth has arrived. So like, don't get discouraged because you screwed up earlier in the game. The only time like any of that really matters in that immediate game is when you get to the end game. Like if you're not playing for the win and you just give up right in the beginning, like what are you doing even playing this game?
Carmen, you can probably attest to that. Didn't we just have like 2 games where you were like completely and utterly dominating me the entire game, and then I just scum out a win because I played in my outs and managed to hit?
Yeah. I mean, like, it is what it is. That's Weiss Schwarz for you. Like you can't be mad about that kind of stuff. You got to keep rolling.
Yeah.
You got to roll with the punches and keep going. I think Weiss, more than anything else, it gets so hard over time to sort of roll with the punches and keep playing, but you just got to keep doing it. Like there's so much variance in this card game versus other card games, and you just got to sort of be able to recognize sort of what is variance and what are bad plays, because like you can always look back to something you could have done better, but you also at the same time can't beat yourself up too hard for things that are variance, like 3 climaxes at the bottom of your 10 card deck.
I love how I killed you from 2-1. That was
Yeah, that was
good.
that was some yikes right there. That was next level.
Yo, double Icy Tail's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I even stack countered to stop the other one. Didn't even
Yeah, that's the really shitty part.
Still died from 2-1.
All right. So these next questions here, Audrey, see. So this question: any words on the new Magia record as far as it being legal in the U.S. and its neo standard status, Monica, and the previous Magia record set? So I know for JP, it should be. I think it was already announced. There's no reason it's not going to be a neo standard with all the old stuff. But like, have we heard?
Record's already out and it's neo standard with everything. The problem currently is the set's not announced in English. You can't play it for English WGP, mainly due to licensing issues. And as far as I'm aware, that still has not changed. If you play the JP circuit, you still cannot play Magia record as like in English Japanese events.
The anime itself, though, is licensed by Aniplex, so you might be able to play the new set, which is neo standard with old Monica for Hatsi. We don't know yet, you know? Like, it might be specifically the Magia record mobile game set that you are not allowed to play.
Yeah, the mobile game is what you're currently not allowed to play with.
Can you imagine the terror if, like, we get the newest Madoka set, but we don't get the middle?
Yeah, like
there's like all the support. It's like, where's your Ricky? I don't know. It was in the other set.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna create some funny shit, but I feel like that's more likely, right? That because Aniplex has licensed the anime, Heart of the Cards can allow you to play this new Magia record set 2 in their tournaments and the original Madoka sets, but not the mobile game set. So you have like this giant gap in cards. But like, I don't know, people are gonna still make it work. People love Madoka, myself included. Like,
hell yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely really, really interesting. I think it has a good chance of being legal for Hatsi US stuff, but it's gonna be really hard to build unless there are things, but only in that set. You don't need anything from the first Magia record set. But I don't know. It'll be funny at least, I guess.
Yeah. Last question from Patreon here. Will Bandori set 2 affect the overall JP meta, or is it so band locked that it probably not do much?
I think it's already
been hidden a lot.
Pretty strong.
I think it kind of got like overshadowed recently by 10th anniversary because so many people have been playing 10th anniversary in Japan. But it's still like a really spooky set. There's still like a lot of mixing and stuff you can do. Maybe it's not as mixable as older sets. You're not gonna sit here with like the like Yukina plus like Mocha and like weird shit like that. It's a little bit more trait locked with the bands, but it's still like really powerful. Popping Party is probably like one of the most powerful level 1 games it has now. It's combination of the Tay level 1 plus Toilet is
level 3.
Yeah, and the level 3.
Pants Standby, I think, is the current like quote unquote meta list going on for Bang Dream in Japan right now.
I just want to say it's like every single list I see that comes up on my Twitter that uses these new cards is a deck that I would never want to sit against in a million years. They look so disgusting. Like every single time, it's just like, damn, this set is just like absolutely crazy. I would never want to sit against any of those decks. Like what, the one Orisa one you posted, Kit?
Mm-hmm.
That thing was like the scariest thing I've
I never want to
seen
sit
in a
across
long
that.
time.
I saw that in Japan when they played the Orisa Nexal with the Tae, and I was like, wow, this is a fun locals.
Yeah, I think it has a lot going for it. Mostly Poppin' Party's like the only set that's been really, or band that's been explored, right?
Well, Poppin' Party gets so much. That Tae is so good with Toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just
Toilet was before a card I wasn't super fan of, but I think it's a lot better now.
Yep.
Because it just removes the downside, right? You can't whiff because you set it with tie.
Yeah, well, you
do
can still
tie
whiff,
trigger
but you gotta
first.
you gotta low roll so hard.
Yeah, you got to low
Yeah.
roll really hard.
Yeah, and it's just like also the tie gives you mill without because like my problem with like the other combos was they were either they could either break randomly or they didn't give you mill. Like there's like just like a ton of problems. The tie gives you like a 2-card mill, which is just enough. It presents a decent body on board. It's on a good trigger that lets you recur, and it's non-interactive. Like it has like all of the check marks for a good card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus like the other combos all had some weakness. Like the Christmas Cosme I thought was the best, but you had to play this event that also had to be in your grave.
That
could
also
sometimes
is
present
like
problems. And that's also a lot of deck slots, right?
Yeah, it's also worse on your second deck, right? Where maybe you don't want to mill.
Like, right, I look at Kid and then I mill 6 climaxes.
Yeah, that was a good day. Oh man. Yeah, I'm actually more excited to see if anyone's gonna experiment with the other bands and get something going with them. But yeah, Pop and Party definitely front runner of that set. It's not gonna be fun when it comes out in English, I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's gonna make a big splash over here.
Yep.
Hold on to your toilets. Don't sell them yet.
No, those toilets are garbage, guys. Sell them for cheap now.
Yeah, sell them cheap.
Please,
I heard a poor little Russian boy is looking to buy all the toilets.
I'm not
Take
even
them off
that
your
big.
hands for cheap.
I just need one, offering $4.
$4 seems a bit much for the card. Maybe you should give him 3.
You're right.
Oh,
Confirmed. It's just an
man.
uncommon.
You're right. All right, we're gonna move to the chat now for questions. So if you haven't posted anything yet, go ahead and post it. The first question here is: since Alchemization release day releases today, what's your hot take on the set? You guys got any hot takes?
Pretty okay out of 10.
Pretty.
I don't think it's gonna make any big waves, but like it's serviceable. It's a deck you can play.
I think that set is totally fine. I think people are gonna see a lot more of it in trios than you think. Especially, you're gonna see that set pop up like at least every other round.
Do you think it's gonna do anything
the Floodlight build?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Floodlight's gonna do anything in singles? Probably
No,
not.
by
Right?
I don't think.
Yeah.
By the time singles comes around, I think there's gonna be just too many other things that are probably power crept Floodlight.
Yeah, like Adventure Time.
You're right.
Like, I don't know. I do think that some form of like a blue-yellow Floodlight deck does have potential to, like, you might see it in 1 or 2 tops for sure. Like, people are just gonna play it because they love Sal and it's the new set, and it's more than passable, so it's just got a better version of the Astolfo combo, and by that I mean it's exactly the same, but it's on Wind, which is better positioned right now. So
yeah, I like that the little extra pieces it gives for like normal Sao. I don't know if it's gonna make a big impact to like normal SAO players who play like the net avatar builds. But
Yeah.
it got some cool tools. It got a cool drop searcher. It got a Musashi.
yeah, I mean, we talked about before the stream started, like, Gara, Sal, English builds. Like, I hope somebody figures something out with that. Every time I try to play those builds, it never goes well because we don't have the coin flip, and that extra hand is like so important for that deck.
Yeah.
But maybe someone will figure something out.
Whether Minami's legal. Is Minami legal?
Is what?
Nothing. Tony just made in the chat. Oh man. 10th entry time was broken. Bringing back salary edit now. Musashi. Real question: do you think Asuna Musashi makes older Sal more relevant? Do you guys think it does?
I think by itself, nah. But I mean, like,
No.
even then, Sal's still, I think, just a decent deck to play.
Oh, what Musashi's? Musashi suck.
They don't do enough. Like, It's just kind of whatever. It's like an addendum to an otherwise.
They mill a
good
climax.
deck. Like,
I wish I was lying. I wish that was a meme, but I swear to God, they mill a climax every time.
like I don't know. How do you fix for that in the more common, like Yuki Sinon builds, right? Like, how do you fix for yellow? Like, how much yellow are you gonna run to run like a note? You know, like a 2 of Musashi.
Now you have what? You have the drop searcher. You have the option to run. You're probably still running the counters, right? So there's another card. You have the Asuna that's like shuffle 2 in for extra soul and then goes to stock or whatever. So I think you have enough to like squeeze in some Musashis in there.
You probably run like what, like 2 Nike Asuna. I don't know what the actual name of that card is.
Guys, this is I think squeezing in a color to put a Musashi in your deck is never the right play.
Yeah, that's what I was like getting to, right? It's like just not worth it at all just to run a Musashi. Like the Gara builds that like, you know, already run a lot of yellow to run like, you know, the Asuna Mill 11 top card, or like the Asuna, because like she searches a card from deck so you can turn 1 card in your hand into your entire level 3 lineup. Like in those builds you get to run the Musashi because you have the ability to do so because you're already in those colors. Like, I don't know, it's another thing for maybe Standby Switch to play. They play enough yellow to sort of support that stuff. Standby Switch is at an interesting point in the meta. I think we might see that deck like come back in some way. It like, I don't know, it like makes things hard for some of the big quote unquote new spooky decks coming. So who knows?
All right, and then we have. Wait, do you think OSC? What's OSC on? Is that the early play?
Ordinal scale,
Order
yeah,
scale
I think
Xenon?
so.
Yeah,
The one that
is
mills 3.
relevant outside of Waifu with the new Xenon that stacks the top and changes into the climax level. Oh no, this is level 1, I think, right? There's a changer into the level 1. I think I saw. I'm blanking on his name right now. What is his name? The guy from Ohio.
Travis?
Travis, yes. Didn't he play this at the Waifu event?
The mill 3?
Was that it? No, not the early play. The level 1 combo. Wasn't there a card that changes into it?
Oh yeah, it like changes into it. And it's like,
yeah, the coin flip
like
level
just
1.
top check add.
Yeah.
It's I guess. I mean, it's a combo. It's like a TV combo.
Yeah, I mean, like the combo isn't horrible or anything. I don't think it's like amazing. Even with,
Those are
like,
never bad combos, but they're also never good combos.
Yeah, it's like in this awkward state of like being mediocre.
Yeah, I don't think it's very good.
All right, before we get to the last stuff announcing for next week, I have one last one, guys. This is from Patreon supporter. They're having a Waifu tournament next week. Or tomorrow, actually. My bad. I don't know why I said next week. They want critique on their deck.
Oh yeah, I saw this. He needs memory snow cards.
He needs... Well, obviously, it must be English because it's all English here. Let me add the screen capture.
Oh, that's like the worst card for Rem at 1. Like, I would almost rather play the Wishing combo or like not play a combo.
Yeah.
The combo is really bad.
I would rather not play a combo.
You can play Wishing, which is like top check 5. It's lovers.
Yeah, it's lovers, but pants, yeah.
What's with this mystery card here?
That's like some backup. It's a 3/5 backup if you're against level 3.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't play. You need to also play the Rem that saves the Rem early play.
It's interesting to look at a waifu list that doesn't have the you can run a single 4 of another card.
Oh, there's also no clean cuts.
Yeah, there's no clean cuts in here. Clean cuts are really important. It's like one of the best Rem cards. Like this 4 of the About the Future Rem should just become a 4 clean cut. Straight up.
Wait. Which one? Oh, the top check?
Not the
top check from the stock is broken, dude.
Yeah. I think...
Oh, I don't know about that.
This guy...
Pure white Rem.
Wow, alright, dude.
Easier card
compared to clean cut in a waifu event,
There's like Happy Daydream Rem and this Bright and Pure
Oh
White
yeah,
Rem.
you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I wasn't looking at literally anything else. I just saw a 4 of next to this card because I'd only run like 2 of this. I mean, it's not a bad card, but
I like the card. I'd probably run it as a 4 of in a waifu event.
Oh, that card's good, dude. Keep that in.
Yeah. Wait.
I think he needs to get better taste and play Betty, who is the better waifu.
Coming from the guy who won a waifu tournament with this character.
Look, that was the memory snow cards. I was just reading them, and I'm like, wow, this is horrendous. And I said, wow, these Betty cards are very not good. So I guess I played the horrendous cards. But if he's not playing memory snow, Betty's the better one.
I can't knock you. I looped Cosme waifu at our waifu events until the waifu.
Wow, bold choice, my dude.
Look, I played
bold choice
2 years in a row. I wasn't ready to play Kaban by herself. I had to scum it out.
Yeah, I think the only thing, if you can add anything here without having to spend real money, is like the 2-1 support that saves the early play Rem, right?
Yeah, that thing's really
definitely
good.
Yeah, if you have the money to spare the cards, definitely Clean Cut should be in here somewhere. Maybe cut like pure white Rem or something. Some other cards here. Maybe the...
Just cut a Daydream and all the pure white Rems for 4 clean cuts. If you don't want to make any other real changes.
Yeah, does this combo need a reverse?
No, that combo is just so aggressively bad.
The capable.
It does need a reverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs a reverse and then it clocks you. It is like.
Oh, you know what he really needs to play? He needs to play. Remember? Oh God, Nico! Remember that one guy at Anime Egg Roll that was playing Rem Waifu and like told? Oh God, that guy was a god. You need to play that combo.
I was playing Arisa. I was playing or what is it like? Bang Dream with top end Arisa against this guy. I'm like, all right, cool. I queued into ReZero, no problem. I think this is pretty winnable. All of a sudden, he's like, yo, dude, I'm running this like a level 1 change combo into the level 3 Rem that also makes your stuff hexproof, so you can't target with your neg soul. I'm like, wow, so cool.
Did you do it at level 0 or level 1?
He did level 1.
Yeah, I think he did 2 at level 1 because he's that good of a player. I was like, how is this guy so good? He's
I almost
better
lost
than
to
me.
him. I had to like precise cancel like twice against him to live just to be able to almost kill him next turn.
Oh, do you guys also bully people at cons? I play like exclusively Ruby 2 Soul Sunshine at cons because I'm too drunk to know what's going on.
Jesus Christ, that sounds horrible. Whenever I go to cons, I usually just play whatever like I brought with me. Like I think I bring like one real deck if I run into real people, but I think the other deck I bring is like coin flip.
Yeah, I bring. I don't know. The couple of cons I've gone to like out of state, I just say I'm way too drunk, so I'm just gonna bring Love Life Sunshine because I'm too stupid to play anything else right now. But I don't know. I'll probably bring Yuna because it's really lewd. What a fun deck.
Poor Ram getting kicked super. That changes in level 2 decent.
Oh, this guy's running Batman Rim. We love Batman Rim.
Oh, dude, Milky Mirror matches are my favorite. I remember when I had to do the Milky Mirror match. What was the con in Chicago?
Oh, yeah, Asen?
Yeah, that was fun. We had a nice Milky Mirror match.
6 hours later.
Yeah, that mirror match is actually fucking cancer.
Didn't we hit the Subasu Waifu mirror match also, or no?
No, we just both queued Tsubasa Waifu. I don't think we ever played each other.
Dang, unfortunate. That would have been a fun. My contact is 42 sisters. That is a strong.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. I think that is it. Oh my god, the train's back. See, we need some main train modes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna shill Patreon again. Join Patreon so you can get your dumb questions answered. And by dumb questions, I mean very intellectual questions that we love answering.
I'm on Patreon.
Yeah, what a scrub. How dare you?
I subscribe to Burn1 on Patreon, and I'm on this podcast. See how far you can go?
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
You paid your way on here. It all makes sense now. No, but for real, super thankful for everyone that actually supports our channel and stuff. Even if you're not on Patreon and you watch our bad videos and get some entertainment or knowledge from them, I'm super thankful and glad that you guys enjoy this content and like give us a reason to like show up and do these things. Yeah, and so I think that is basically it. We have like the special announcement at the end of the stream for the people that are still here. Next one is all of us can do March 6th, right? I guess I confirmed this before I even asked you guys that we're all showing up for March 6th. All right.
I should be good for next week.
Yeah, I can do March 6th, yeah.
All right, so yeah, next Friday, second episode. We're gonna probably go back for mostly focus English. We'll see if this works out, swapping back and forth. If not, we just start mixing stuff together. But the biggest thing here is March 6th. We're gonna have our first guest for this podcast, and our first guest is Ryan. Right? Why did I say Ryan?
Why?
Oh my god! Woo! All right, Ryan Wibbs Wibberly. I didn't know. All right. Yeah, he goes by Wibbs on Discord. You guys know him as the third place world winner, I guess. Famous.
Yuri, lol.
Yeah. Famous for his grabbing Aqua off of Megumin play and then getting game lost in the top 8. Oh, man.
Truly a legend.
Truly. Yep. I hope he's just known for that till the end of time now.
I don't. That's fucking brutal, man.
Our team name for Toronto is Ryan grabbing Aqua off of Megumin.
No! Oh, no. No, we're gonna get DQ'd for bullying, man.
This is true. Yeah, I don't condone bullying, but yeah, Ryan's gonna be our special guest. We're gonna have him on. We'll probably talk about our lovely Strictly Broken versus Burn 1 featuring Italian Nico money match that we did in Japan because he brought it up.
I still
on
have
our
money in
Discord
my
server.
wallet.
You still have it? I do too. I still have it also.
I immediately spent it on Strong Zero. Sorry, guys.
That was a strong choice.
I had to buy Cameron a drink, man, after he got fucking deleted by Yarbucker. Come on.
Oh shit!
That man deserved a drink.
You are correct. But one thing about it though, we had to kind of like move the time slot next week just because Ryan actually works usually during this time. He's gonna get off early, so we're super thankful for that. So he's just like kind of getting off an hour early to try to make the time a little easier for everyone. So next week we're gonna start at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then after that we should go back to the 8 p.m. Eastern or whatever. Yeah. So next week, if you think of any questions you guys want to ask Ryan or whatever, we'll go ahead and throw that up in Discord and stuff. If you're not a part of Discord, did I save a Discord link here, or am I dumb? I am dumb. I will create one right now. My edit invite link. Select expired. Never. Generate link. Copy. All right. If you guys aren't on our Discord, here's the link to it in chat. Join our Discord. I'll post up usually that we'll be taking questions or whatever. You guys can ask questions in there as well. Oh, shoot. Wait, did I screw up? Did I miss a question in general chat? I don't think I did. I have Broderick in here saying, "Don't turn one America." I like it. Oh, there's like a question here. I'll save it for next week. Sorry. Who is this? Sonic Colors. Well, I'm gonna answer your question next week.
I love Sonic Colors, dude.
The video game.
It's a good Sonic game.
Yeah, what a good game.
But besides that, guys, I guess 9 p.m. Eastern next week with Ryan Wibberly. I'm sure that will be a very fun cast, so look forward to it. You guys have any shout-outs? I guess we'll let Carmen go first. You need to shout out your channel. Get it really good.
So Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz. We do deck techs every Friday. We got Fujimi set review on the way with a special guest. We're trying to figure that out, so trying to get the schedules to link up. Hopefully we can get that out there pretty soon. But yeah, that's it. Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz.
Yep. Dean, anything special?
No, same as always.
All right, Nico.
I got nothing.
Oh wait, one last thing. Next week we'll have webcams for
Ooh,
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
this
spooky.
guy thinking.
yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna have a couple of extra sponsors for next week. Shout outs, I guess, to our future sponsor, Tito's Vodka. Pretty good.
Shout out to a new Amsterdam gin.
Yeah, so we'll have webcams and stuff next week for fun and stuff, and we'll see how that goes. Besides that, yeah, guys. Dang, I thought there was something else I was supposed to say. Now I totally blanked after you guys said that. Yeah, whatever. We'll see you guys next week. I'll go ahead and make a live event for it on the YouTube channel so you guys can get notifications of us going live. And hopefully we'll see you guys next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Besides that, guys, we'll see you guys in the next podcast, I guess. Later, everyone.